Hello everybody and welcome to Bristol Temple Meads railway station. Now if you live in the southwest, specifically the Bristol area, you will know that Transpora Bus have pulled out and ceased trading in Bristol. Now for many people this was not a surprise. However, it has left a massive hole in Bristol's transport and bus system, as many areas of the city are now without a bus service and public transportation. So I decided to go up to Bristol and see what was going on with Bristol's bus network. Now, some routes have been taken over by other companies that Transpora Bus South West used to do. However, others have just been left to defend for themselves. Now, the Big Lemon was the first operators to pick up on Transpora buses lost to Bristol, let's say. They decided they were going to run the majority of services. However, Stagecoach did also eventually give in to the situation, whilst First West of England have done absolutely nothing. Now, the Big Lemon are running the majority of local bus services. They're running the West Local X91, the X10, and they did run the 23 up until last Friday, when they decided not to operate the service as there was hardly anybody using it. The Big Lemon are also operating a few other Transpora bus services that I can't name off the top of my head. They're also running the Arthur David food services. Now, Stagecoach West, who operate all over the place in the southwest and parts of Wales, are taking on Route 25 in Bristol and Route 60 in South Gloucestershire. Now, I think the 25 bus service was invented by Transpora. However, Route 60 was previously operated by Stagecoach before Transpora gained the route. Anyway, here I am on an ex-Aberdeen Wright Street Light DF, which has Route 8 branding at Bristol City Centre. Here is my number 8 bus run by First West of England, leaving the centre stops on its way to Clifton Village and Clifton Downs. Now, as much as I wanted to go and see what happened in Bristol, I chose to film this video on the worst weekend that I could have actually filmed this video, as the Bristol Harbour Festival was on, which is located pretty much right next to the centre bus stops, which meant that many bus services, including the Stagecoach 25 that was previously run by Transpora, were being diverted or curtailed. That was the case for the 25. Now, First Bus said that no services that they ran that served the city centre bus stops, otherwise known as Broad Quay, would be diverted or curtailed. So I thought, well, that's all good then. If they can run services to the city centre, why can't anybody else? However, I got tricked and I didn't actually realise that the 25 was being curtailed. So if you are using the 25, when some festivals are on in Bristol, make sure that your bus isn't being curtailed or diverted. In the end, I did make my way to the Broadmead Haymarket bus stops. However, I did just miss a bus, and I was filming this on a Saturday, when buses are hourly. Anyway, here is this Stagecoach West Enviro 400 MMC arriving into the Haymarket bus stops at Broadmead near Bristol bus station. I'm going to take this all the way to Eastville. Here is this lovely Enviro 400 MMC leaving one of the Eastgate Centre stops on its way to Fish Ponds. Now, although the 25 isn't overly a busy service, it is quite busy compared to what some of the other Transpora services used to be like. For example, the Big Lemon have stopped running the 23 due to a lack of passengers, and I don't think it helped that when Transpora first started the 23 service, First West of England then extended the 24 service, which meant all the passengers went on the 24 instead of the new 23. As well as that, the Route 90, which I've been on before, isn't actually running at the moment and probably won't be for the foreseeable future. Anyway, I now had to get a First West of England bus across from Eastville to Southmead Hospital. Now, I have done this journey before. However, this time I got on the 17 bus, which is being operated by a Volvo B9TL Right Eclipse Gemini, and was one of the rare services that continued from Southmead Hospital to the Bristol bus station. And this bus also started at Kingswood instead of Keynsham. Here is a Stagecoach West Scania Enviro 400 arriving on one of the Stagecoach Bristol services. Now, Stagecoach West have a very large depot at Patchway, however they don't actually have very many routes in Bristol, with the majority of the routes either operating around Stoke Gifford, Severn Beach, or operating to and from Long Ashton Park and Ride. Here is my next bus arriving into Southmead Hospital approximately 10 minutes late, which was the Big Lemon Enviro 200. Now, the Big Lemon has to be one of my favourite bus companies for obvious reasons. However, they try to make people happy. Now, they did make me relatively happy on this service, especially when the bus arrived, as I thought it wasn't going to turn up, as I was waiting at Southmead for quite a while. However, I did end up missing my next connection, as this bus ended up arriving into Clevedon 15 minutes late. However, I still enjoyed this journey on the X10 bus service, and I also enjoyed going on a tiny little bus on the M5 motorway. Anyway, let's make our way to the first stop on this service, which is at Cribbs Causeway. Passing Filton Airfield on the outskirts of Filton, Henbury and Patchway. are leaving one of the two stops at Cribbs Causeway. Now the bus previously stopped at the Cribbs Causeway bus station, which is where I alighted when I sampled the X10 in a previous video when it was still being operated by Transpora Bus. However, this service actually continues on to Portishead and even Clevedon. Now, although I got off at Cribbs Causeway in the previous video, this service also stops at the Cribbs Causeway Asda, which I think is very useful, as the people of North Somerset can do their shopping whilst using public transport. Anyway, this bus was now 15 to 20 minutes late, and I did miss my connection in Clevedon. However, the next bit of the route is the best bit, where we go on the M5 motorway. Joining the M5 motorway just after Cribbs Causeway. Now I think the traffic on the right explains why this bus was so late. The M5 and the M4 are both prone to delays. Anyway, although this bus wasn't the best bus for going on motorways, it did the job, and it did eventually get up to speed. Rivers in the Bristol area on one of the most famous bridges on the British motorway network. Arriving into Portishead on one of the approach roads from the M5 and Portbury. We are going through one of the housing estates on the other side of Portishead. stops in Clevedon, which are the Clevedon Triangle stops. And here is the Big Lemon in via 200, leaving the main stops at Clevedon. Okay, so if you are planning on using some services that used to be operated by Transpora Bus South West, here is what you need to know. Service 23 is no longer operating. This used to go from Bristol to Ashton Vale. You now need to use the First West of England Service 24 to do that journey. The Service 25, which is Bristol to Eastfield and Fish Ponds, is now being operated by Stagecoach West. Service 60, which is Thornbury to Dursley, is also being operated by Stagecoach West. Service 90, which is Bristol to Knoll, Hartcliffe and Hengrove, is also not operating. The Newport to Bristol Direct Service 925 is also not operating. Service X10, which is Clevedon, Portishead and Cribbs Causeway to Southmead Hospital, is being operated by the Big Lemon. The West Local Service X91, which is Bristol to Hengrove and eventually on to Bishop Sutton, is also being operated by the Big Lemon and will soon be extended to villages such as West Harptree in the near future in September, along with other West Local services. And as well as that, Transpora were going to launch a new Sightseeing Bristol open topper. However, who knows what's going to happen to that? I wouldn't be surprised if they just abandoned the whole thing. That's what they've done with the rest of Bristol. Anyway, good luck to using Bristol's transport system, as it's a complete mess at the moment. Anyway, cheers for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!